So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to a brand new episode of Is It That Bad? Where we take a look at an album that maybe it was bad or it was mixed feelings. And we listen to it again, we analyze it, and then at the end, we vote if it is it that bad or maybe it isn't. And I'm having again more people join me for the first time. I have Matthew from Diceable Tunes joining the channel. Matthew, how are you?
I am feeling great. I'm really excited because this is my first collaboration, meeting some really cool people, JC and
Chili.
Chile.
Chili.
Chili.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Chili. I'm a little
All good.
nervous,
We only met
but I'm
like two
excited
minutes
to be
ago,
here.
okay, for the back end there.
Yeah. You should go Chile. Like you've seen that movie where like we go back a long time, and then it's like 2 seconds. I think it was a Leslie Nielsen movie. Like I remember you. So obviously, I'm having again JC Rock and Metal Reviews. Basically, at this moment, JC Rock and Metal Reviews is part of this channel. Like he's been in
Yeah,
so
no.
many videos that he's like part of the couch with me. So JC, how are you?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. And of course, joining me again, all the way down from Australia, my brother from another mother, Chile.
How's it going, Hector? And happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah,
It's so good to see you all again.
it's a new year. And of course, we're here to talk about not this band, but we're going to talk about Bruce Dickinson, who has a new album coming out in March. So I thought, what better
Oh,
way than to go to 1990? Especially, this album was released in May 8th of 1990, and it's Bruce Dickinson's first solo album called Tattooed Millionaire. And you know what? I didn't know this album existed until a week ago. I always thought that his first album was Balls to Picasso or something like that. But I didn't know
Yeah.
that he had one previous to this. But I did some searching, and it turns out that this is his first solo album. So you know the drill, people. We have the 3 rounds. The first round, we talk about our first impressions listening to this album. Then we go to round number 2, where we pick 3 tracks that maybe are the weakest. And then on round 3, we vote and we give our final thoughts, and we give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So previously to this, we were talking offline, and only one of us had this album when it came out. And guess who? It's JC. Oh, I was voting the wrong way. So JC, why don't you start with us with your first impressions of Tattooed Millionaire by Bruce Dickinson?
Okay, yeah, this came out in 1990. I was young, getting into heavy metal. I was, I guess, 18 years old, or maybe almost 19. And I was a big Iron Maiden fan. I heard the first single on the radio. I think it was a Tattooed Millionaire. And I went out and bought CDs. So I used to listen to this one a lot. And back then, I thought it was good because yeah, I was into a lot of those like glam metal bands. Like I was listening to a lot of like Bon Jovi and Poison. So in retrospect, I kind of like noticed that this album was kind of in that type of style, and I also didn't know like the backstory of like what is a tattooed millionaire with. It, Basically, it was like Nikki Sixx cheated on his wife, and he kind of
I
like
heard that story, yeah.
yes, it's Nikki Sixx and Bruce's wife. So he made this album, kind of like as a way to kind of like get back at him. And he was actually still in Iron Maiden at the time. So a lot of people, when you mentioned Balls to Picasso, that was like his first solo album, like outside of Maiden. Like, but this one was pretty popular, and I liked it a lot. I listened to it a lot back then. I kind of like stopped listening to it for many years, and then I did like revisit it. I think like before we started planning to do this, and then I listened to it again just to kind of like take my notes and all that. But it's I liked it a lot back then, but I think like it hasn't really aged as well. So I'll
You know what was age well? That Nikki Sixx
Oh
had
yeah.
sex with Bruce Dickinson's wife and then met him. And then he shook his hand because I read the dirt. And there's a part where they talk about this. And he's
yeah.
like, he didn't know it was his wife. I think it was his first wife or something. So if you think about it, instead of bringing your daughter to the slaughter, he brought his wife to the slaughter. Ah.
Bringing his wife to the orgy.
Yo.
I don't
So
know. I've heard conflicting reports on that though. He reckons that he hasn't opened up fully about that song in particular, but I heard that it wasn't about Nicki as per se, but
he's a
he
tattooed
hasn't.
millionaire.
Yeah, that's true, but so is Bruce
It's-
Dickinson.
No, Bruce Dickinson has no tattoos. He's a millionaire, but he's a no tattooed millionaire. He's
Oh.
Untattooed.
see, I'm a broke man with a tattoo.
Me too. Me too.
I'd show you my tattoo, but I'd have to take my pants off. So
No, please, no. We don't want to lose subscribers, man. So, so
Me and Chili on the
what-
same page.
Yeah, Chili, what about you? Your first impressions listening to this?
Oh, let's see. I would have to thank, I guess, Uncle Steve's Iron Maiden Zone, which I appeared on his podcast recently, and he brought to attention this Bruce Dickinson album in particular, because I was aware of his solo stuff. I just hadn't listened to pretty much any of it. So, I was thinking more like along the lines of Chemical Warfare, I think it was, or something like that. The 1998 release, which I've heard a
Yeah.
bit of, and not bad. It obviously has Adrian on guitars on that one, which pretty much sounds similar to Iron Maiden. So, when I was talking to him and he mentioned this album, it piqued my curiosity, and he's like, "Oh, just listen to it, just see what you think about this record." And yes, the cheese factor is real in this. It's like JC says, it's
I got the props.
you got the props ready. You got the props ready for it. Like it's a very cheesy record that hasn't aged too well. It's something like, I don't know, milk been sitting on the porch for about 30 years to a degree, and it's just curdled, unfortunately. Even that album cover. I mean, look at that album cover and tell me that's not the most brooding looking Bruce Dickinson 1990s photo shoot with some
Let's put it
a
again.
la Japanese. Yeah, have a look at the artwork
It looks
again
like
there.
it's
Oh.
Bruce. It's Bruce looking at Nikki having sex with his wife.
Yeah, this is the news when he found out about Nikki Sixx and such. That was his face, and just by chance, it was at the photo shoot.
He's
You
like,
know?
oh
Oh.
no, oh, I want to
No,
watch, but
I can't unsee it.
Nikki, what are you doing to my wife? Oh my God, please don't cancel us.
No, but he had some Yakuza sitting behind him. That's actually not some painting. That's just some Yakuza guy's back. So that's the Tattooed Millionaire that they're talking about. Like you mentioned as well, I wasn't entirely aware of this one being the first album. I thought, was it Balls to Picasso was his first album as
Yeah.
well. I heard that the alternative title, the working title, might have been Shit on Salvador Dali, but that's who knows.
Jesus.
No, I'm joking. That's not real. Take it as fact, though. Clip it, people. But yeah, when I listened to this
People
album,
are clicking right now. Like, is this true? Like, no.
yeah, they've just quickly
Pause,
leaked
let me
out the
check.
video. Yeah, fact checking. I'm just getting responses now to say, no, it wasn't. Like, yeah, I know it was a joke. You don't get the joke. Anyway, but yeah, I listened to this album and it's like, it's got these interesting parts, but very much it's very of its era. But at the same time, it's also still a couple of years prior. It's like an album that was released in 1990, but was meant to be released 3 years prior, I think. That's probably how it
was
was.
almost the 80s, man. It was like borderline 80s. But yeah, I know you listened to it this week. So Matthew, I know you told me you're not a huge Maiden fan, and you're more into like hardcore and punk. For those of you that haven't seen Diceable Tunes, his channel, he covers a lot of like underground, like hardcore punk band, metal bands, and he also has shirts. So yeah, it's interesting. I have some merch right now. I've only sold 3 shirts. Come on, people, buy some shit. Like I
Support the
sold
local
3 shirts.
businesses.
Plug is done.
Yeah. So Matthew, listening to this, not being like truly like a super fan of Iron Maiden and not knowledgeable, what did you think of this when you first heard it?
I'm just I'm really impressed and amazed just hearing like I got JC stories, Chili stories, like a timeline because yeah, I'm not familiar with any of this. Iron Maiden, the hits, few tracks, I feel bad because by the time I got into metal and stuff, I always thought, oh, that's a little bit too old for me. But I'm getting older and I'm kind of going back and like retroactively like deconstructing that and like, oh, there are stuff there. I can get past the production and some of the lyrics and stuff and sounds, and I enjoy it more. But this particular album, and I made a mistake when I first listened to it. I thought it released in 99 for some reason when I looked it up. And I was like, this sounds really dated for being 99. And I was like the whole time, this didn't come out in 99. What? Well, and then I found out by the end of it, I was like, oh, it came out in 1990. This makes more sense.
Yeah, if it came
And
out in 1999, something was wrong with Bruce. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, because I was like, and it sounds like I wouldn't say copy, but I feel like he borrowed a lot of sounds in terms of like songs sounded like Aerosmith. I didn't
Yeah.
realize at the time he covered an AC/DC song, and the whole time I was like, this sounds like AC/DC all the way, but like bad. And like no, I don't ever want to be like mean or like dispirited or negative, but it was just like, oh, this is really rough to get through. As Chili said, it was kind of cheesy a lot of times, and I'm trying to not come in with like a mindset. I'm coming in cheese all the way. Yeah, very, very, very cheesy, and it just sounded like, I guess it first time making a solo album for himself, taking other genres and other band sounds and trying to put his own vocals and style on it, which A for effort, hey, you experimented, trying things out, but not the best, like, I guess he didn't stick the landing on it because his vocals work well for Iron Maiden, but for this project, his solo project, nah,
Yeah.
I don't think it just didn't fit
Something's
well.
amiss there. Yeah, something's
Yeah.
definitely amiss with his vocals.
Oh, but I will say the production, it sounds good sonically, like
Yeah.
top-notch quality. Like, for being 1990s, it comes in clear, crisp, sounds great, but just the creativity of it, it's a bit lacking, I feel like. And
Yeah.
like
I
Shelly
get
said,
what
quite cheesy.
what you say. It sounds like a covers album in a way. So yeah, this is the first time that I listened to this as well. So my first impressions is it's a mixed bag for me. There's I will talk more about tracks in the other round, but yeah, I gotta say that Tattooed Millionaire song has laid eggs on my brain. So I'm in the shower and I'm blinding lights. I don't wanna be I don't wanna be a
Be a
tattooed
tattooed millionaire.
And then I hear
It's got a hook.
my something shouting in my brain like the 80s ended like 40 years ago. Shut the fuck up. So
But
right
then
now,
the 80s was only just yesterday, so
yeah. So Tattooed Millionaire is my jam in 2024. Go figure. I got that song stuck in my brain. But other of the tracks on the album, yeah, I hear like there's some songs that I was thinking, yeah, like Matthew said, there's a song where there's a guitar part that I thought it sounded like "Dude Looks Like a Lady" from Aerosmith. I'm like, it's the same guitar tone. It's the same.
was that
guitar
Gypsy
tone.
I'm
Road?
not crazy. I'm not crazy then. Okay. Oh,
No, you're not
That
crazy.
had.
I think that's the song "Licking the Gun."
Oh yes, yeah. That
There's
was.
a part
I
of
did
it
bring that
that I
up,
was
but that's what I
like,
was thinking.
Dude looks. I was gonna sing. This sounds like "Dude Looks Like a Lady."
yes.
Which
Indicated.
is a song that now at our time, I was reading that it's age bad too. Dude looks like a lady. I still love it, but yeah.
I forgot to mention that when I was looking at that song title, "Licking the Gun," and I'm like, that's such an Aerosmith sounding song title. I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah. So
It's very left field.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very. Another thing about this album, the song placing and structure, it's kind of weird.
Ooh.
It's kind of, then you
Mm.
go like an up, then you go like a down, then you go like so. The pacing is kind of weird.
Yes.
And backstory: Bruce Dickinson
Oh, yeah,
started
yeah.
to record this album because he was asked to do a cover, a song for a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
5, and that's where he recorded a version of Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, which I think arguably can be considered one of Maiden's worst tracks ever. Yeah,
Ooh,
like,
I haven't heard
And
it,
what's
but like,
interesting, it was a #1 song in the UK. Like that's their only #1 song like ever.
see, and
England, what happened? I
bring
lost
that
respect for
here
you guys.
so he can give us his British impression of thoughts on it. So we'll have to ask him later. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so it's
Yes.
interesting, but that song didn't make the album because Iron Maiden was going to release an album that year. I think it was. Did you say Chili? No
Same
Prayer
here.
for Dying?
Yeah, same year. What is it? No Prayer for the Dying. They re-recorded that song. And I'm glad I found out about this after listening to the album because No Prayer for the Dying is my least favorite Iron Maiden album. And Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, like you said, is probably one of the worst tracks Iron Maiden has ever recorded. And I'm like, okay,
damn.
if I listened to that, sorry, if I knew that fact before coming into this album, I would have like instantly just hated this album purely because, yeah, this album was to further on, Hector's story here. When he recorded the song for Nightmare on Elm Street, the records turned to him and said, "Hey, why don't you get that band together and write an album?" And that's how this whole solo album came to fruition.
And another interesting fact: Yannick Gers played guitar on this album, and then he joined later Iron Maiden. So
Yes.
that's an interesting fact for you guys. So yeah, so these
I
are
love
our
interesting facts.
first impressions of listening to this album. Now we're going to round 2, where we're going to pick what we think are the weakest tracks. So JC, what are the weakest tracks for you?
Okay. Well, first let me comment that it was interesting that Matthew mentioned AC/DC and Aerosmith because I actually have those two bands mentioned in my notes. But in the first song I'll mention is Hell on Wheels. This is just a straight like going for AC/DC. Like they were just he was just like trying to like copy an AC/DC song basically, and the lyrics are just about riding a motorcycle. Like I expect more from Bruce Dickinson lyrically because this guy I consider him like an intellectual. I know he has advanced degrees. He's a pilot. I mean,
History
he's a
buff.
very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, and these lyrics are very basic and simple. And
You know what happened, JC? Nikki Sixx fucked his wife.
Intelligence just thrown out the window now.
Yeah.
We can give
But
him a
there's
pass
that
on that.
one.
We get a little...
Now, the next song, I have a feeling that you guys are going to mention this one. Dive, Dive, Dive. This one just it just sounds like a Poison, like a very glam metal. Lyrics are super cringy. I mean, there's all these like sexual innuendos about it's about like ships, but he's saying things like well, one of my like semen stains down below, torpedoes loaded, he's ready to go. It's just these lyrics are awful. And this is the one where I thought the guitar riff sounded exactly like Aerosmith's Walk This Way. That's what I heard. I don't know if the rest of you guys heard that one, but it sounded a lot like that.
Yeah.
And I'll pick one more song towards the end. It's called Zulu Lulu.
Yeah.
It's another one that's very glam and another one with the lyrics that are very cringe. It's about he's getting with this woman, but she's very conservative and religious, but she has like this wild side. Like one of the lyrics says like she broke my back and she broke my heart, and then like she breaks up with him in the song. So it's another one of those songs that just has that glam metal side and the sound and the cringy lyrics. So that was another one I picked, and I think it just the title alone, Zulu Lulu, is just kind of weird in itself. So That's my three. So
Solid choices, my man. So, Shili, what 3 tracks do you pick?
3 or more.
You can pick as much as you want.
Alrighty then. So I think the tracks that we
front
should
two.
definitely. I got more than one as well. Ooh. So if
I'm
I have
loving
to
it.
mention one, Born in '58, it's like Bruce Dickinson goes for Bruce Springsteen here, and it just sucks. This is such a terrible sounding track. That really hurts. Yeah, Born in '58. What the bloody hell? You may as well start singing like, Born in the USA.
And you know what? It doesn't even sound like a sexy year.
No, it's
If
like,
it was
I'm in a
born
mining
in
town.
69,
Yeah.
Born in
Yeah.
58.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have the same ring, does it? Yeah, I get it. You were born in '58, and I think that kind of also leads into the Tattooed Millionaire, not about Nikki Sixx theory, because born '58. Yes, you were born in a mining town. Okay, yeah, we get that whole story. You could name about 10 other songs made by other musicians that were a shitload better about your life story. This one just trudges along, and it's just okay, whatever. The opening track, for example, "Son of a Gun," which has that lyric mentioned, "Son of a gun," and it's like mentioned 12 times throughout the song. It's just, it sounded like it was going somewhere. It had this decent sounding hook and riff, and then it goes nowhere. There is no progression. There is no change. There's nothing. Like if it was Iron Maiden, you would have this section. It would be a key change, a tempo shift, or whatever. There'd be progression. But Son of a Gun is like a car going up a hill stuck in neutral and slowly rolling backwards. It just goes nowhere. It's just nothing in my mind. It's a shame because it sounded like it was a decent track at the start there. Gypsy Road was a track that I didn't like for its over repetitive lyrics. I think he mentions Gypsy Road 20 times in that song. I counted it. I'm sure it was.
Title, man.
Yeah, Gypsy Road. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, okay, you're doing the same lyric again and again. And this is a reoccurring theme on the entire album. Every song you can pretty much go through, there is a lot of repetition of the song's title to drum in your mind, like we were talking about with Tattooed Millionaire as well. Every single song has a lot of repetitive lyrics, which is somewhat of a staple to Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills, for example, but at least the music keeps you entertained and hooked, where this one stagnates like a fucking pond or some kind. So, yeah, definitely Son of a Gun, Born in '58, Gypsy Road, and I'm going to mention, what was the other one? Tattooed Millionaire, that's right. So my notes on this one was, like, it's an interesting song. It's decent, and I don't think it's really. Sorry,
I love that song.
There's a catch. There's a catch to this. There's a catch to this choice here. So, Tattooed Millionaire, I select, but I don't think it's about Nicky at all. I think it's introspective, especially with the song "Born in '58" following afterwards. I think it's more focusing on himself. It's introspective of him. He doesn't want to be a tattooed millionaire running in that boys' club of millionaires, other millionaires, which if it's the case, it's very ironic considering that he bought Ed Force One, a $4 million jet, and got pilot lessons and flies his band members around. The dude's flying a 757. You are the tattooed millionaire. Well, does he? I don't know. Like, I feel like Bruce, he's in Iron Maiden. He surely has tattoos. He probably has like this tiny little "I love mom" tattoo.
Tattoos.
No, I've got to fact check this. Someone fact check that in the comments below.
On it.
Matthew's on it. Matthew is on it. I'm sure that Bruce is a tattoo.
Yeah,
one tiny one.
I'll buy a shirt. I'll buy your shirt, Hector, if I am wrong. But I'm sure Bruce has a tattoo at least.
He's got a tattoo of Nikki Sixx on his heart.
Yeah, Nikki Sixx forever.
I'm sorry, Chili. We might have to eat our words.
What? He doesn't have a tattoo?
There's more tattoos of Bruce Dickinson on people than Bruce Dickinson. There's pictures of him with tattoos. There's
got to be somewhere. I'm sure I've seen him.
I did my homework. Bruce
You did your
Dickinson
homework
has
on
no
this
tattoos.
one.
It could be like the Dolly Parton thing, covered up all the way, but apparently a lot of tattoos just in
It's
spots
a
you
little,
would
it's a
never
little
see.
Snoopy tattoo on his ass that no one's ever seen. You know, like
There's got it.
But
I'm
if
even
you,
typing in Bruce Dickinson naked. I'm
yeah,
getting nothing.
no, we don't want to see
no,
Bruce Dickinson naked.
no.
But
So
she,
yeah,
if
I
you
think
think
like
about it, yeah,
hmm,
basically, Nikki Sixx, you know that instead of cock blocking him, he mind blocked him. From like writing like cohesive, like interesting music. You know, I'll talk more about this on the last round, but
hmm,
He literally mind fucked him.
yeah.
yeah.
So
Free rent, boys.
yeah. So Matthew, which songs do you pick?
Um, Two of them are songs that have already been mentioned, and so I'll be briefly on them and everything. The first one is Born in '58 as well.
Yeah.
Um, I felt the opening lyrics and everything, and I feel bad when I was thinking like listening to it, like how the political climate is these days and everything, and like maybe in the '80s talking like that was seemed a little bit more like empowering, like kind of proudful, but now it kind of felt just really cringy and kind of too try hard a bit and
Mm.
just being so proud of yourself, but just not, yeah, just not in a very fun way and everything. And the but there were some parts of it I did like the chorus lyrics weren't that bad, but overall the sound of the song just felt very dated, and his vocal performances and lyrics just were overall really bad on this particular song. I felt he was kind of being lazy during the verses. Like he didn't feel like Bruce Dickinson when like he was doing the verses. The chorus was a little bit better, but overall it was just really bad. And production wise, like everything kind of sounded buried. Like one of the weaker ones in terms of production and everything. And just was not a fun track to listen to. It was hard to get through a bit. And another one, which I'm surprised you guys didn't mention, was Licking the Gun. I
Yeah.
was, oh, like,
Look at the gun.
yeah. And I'm double checking my note. Aerosmith. This is where I said the Aerosmith ripoff. I was like, yeah, like sounds like
Mm.
Aerosmith, but the
Sounds
lyrics.
like dude looks like a lady, but she's
Oh,
holding a gun.
yeah. I didn't like. I once you said that, I was like, oh, it clicks. But that's where like the Aerosmith
Mm.
riff, I was like feeling and like it was coming from somewhere. But yeah, absolutely that. And overall, he also sounds like he's not on time in the song. Like he sounds offbeat, like not matching the performance of the instruments and the guitar work and everything. He just sounds really bad and just I have it's just ringing in my head, licking him just saying licking the gun and stuff, and just the lyrics. I it takes a lot for me to like not want to skip a song, but I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta power through. But I was just like,
No
yeah,
one will
just
blame you.
I'm sorry, man.
yeah. But no, that's why I want to do this stuff. I want to expand my palette. It's cheating out if I skip out a song that's horrifically bad. There's been a few songs where this is literally torture and I've gotten a headache from it, but I gotta get through it because if I did that, then Mama didn't raise no quitter over here. I gotta power
Mm.
through.
Yeah, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, doing this series has fucked up my Spotify playlist.
Ah,
Uh,
I kind of like when I've like heard of like some bad albums coming up, I'm like, I don't want to be on put a list on Spotify. I'll go to YouTube. I'm like, yeah, my YouTube algorithms are fine. I don't want to, yeah, I don't want my Spotify recommendations messed up.
Yeah, mine's are.
Uh,
So, what's the last song that you picked?
Zulu Lulu. To
Mm.
me, it sounded like a ripoff of Van Halen, the sound and feel and everything.
Not Van Halen, but more like David Lee Roth, like solo.
Okay, let me
His-
specifically like
yeah.
Yeah,
I said Van Halen, but more I thought David Lee Roth, and especially in the vocal performance. And that's just it was just bugging me. But it was just like a bad version of it, just a bargain bin, B grade, Walmart, like no brand version, and he just was not that great. And it seems like yeah, was it yeah, it just was really cheesy. Just a really bad, like JC said earlier, the name and everything. You need more cheese than that, I think, for this particular song.
that's
Like,
all the cheese I have.
yeah. But the funny thing, speaking of cheese, ironically, the one thing I liked about that was there's like cowbell in the song. I like
Yeah.
that
More
they added, I was like, oh,
cowbell.
there's something different. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I like something
Christopher
different. They're switching
Walken.
up.
it needs more cowbell.
I was actually, I was like, God, I kind of want more of that cowbell. But yeah, just Zulu, yeah, those are my three songs that are just like,
Awesome. So
yes.
that leaves me, and so I'm gonna pick. There's a different song I'm gonna pick, but it's a cover song they have on this album for All the Young Dudes. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It felt so uninspired and so unnecessary that I like.
Kind of a
why
whatever
you
song.
need this cover here. It's like All the Young Dudes.
Was that a cover?
Yeah,
It was a
that's
David
cover.
Bowie song, I heard.
It's
Oh, was
it was originally Mata Hoople, but I think Bowie did a version of it as well.
Oh, so it's a cover of a cover of a cover?
Oh my
It's
God.
the
It was
cover
it was
of a
one of the most
cover of a
forgettable
cover.
songs.
Let me look this up here.
Yeah,
It was like one of the most forgettable songs. I'm listening to it going, okay, this is weird, but
That
I didn't know it was a
I was like,
cover.
it's not bad. It's just super forgettable.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just felt like super filler. Like hey, we just
Mm.
need to put a few something here. Hey, do All the Young Dudes cover of a cover. I read that it's a cover. It's at least what Wikipedia says is that it is a cover of it says that it is a cover of Mud the Hoople cover, but also David Bowie did it. So it's a cover of a cover. There you go.
Mm.
Yeah, well, the
Mm.
David Bowie wrote it, and it was released by Mata Hoople.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
See,
so
that's why we have Jace
Wow.
on these videos, because
thank you,
Jason
Jace.
is the history master. He knows all the
Respects.
facts.
All respects to this man.
Like
Look.
fuck Alexa, say say JC, give me the facts, and JC will give you the facts. So yeah, but yeah, it felt out of place. So I'm picking Zulu Lulu too, and I have a serious question. What is a Zulu Lulu?
Who the
Like,
fuck knows?
yeah, well,
I
I
can
think
answer
Casey
half of
said
that.
that it was like a conservative lady. So at first I thought maybe Sulululu, like maybe he put that weird name, but maybe he wanted to get with Nikki Sixx's wife so he could get back at him, and he would be like open like I got you, Nikki. I snooped your wife too, and I don't know why I sound like Count Chocula, but
Hey, one wife.
I had
Two
what?
wife.
Three wives.
Oh,
Three wife. Oh no.
Yeah. But hey, don't feel bad for Bruce. He got married. He got divorced a few years ago, and then his wife died, the one that he divorced, and he got remarried, I think, this year. So Bruce, I'm glad for you.
hey.
So Bruce, come on, do a Motley Crue Iron Maiden tour. I dare you. You imagine he'll be like watching Nikki from afar. Like, do not do this.
This there. He's got that tattooed millionaire look on the front of it. Just...
He'll be like,
when I saw Zulu Lulu, I thought it said Zulu, and I'm like, why is he reiterating the same word twice? Is he trying to write like a historical song about the Zulu Wars there, with like that film with Michael Caine in it or whatever? But then I realized it said Zulu Lulu, and the lyrics are complete nonsense, and I was like,
put it like
my hopes and
Zulu,
dreams.
and would have thought that it was a song about Zulu from Ghostbusters, like
Oh.
that would have been fun. But yeah, Zulu Lulu, and I'm picking. There's a few bad ones, but I'm picking Gypsy Road because it sounds like a bad karaoke Led Zeppelin song.
Led Zeppelin. That's the vibes I was getting.
Or,
Yeah.
for
that
kids
slide
that
guitar
don't
as
know-
well.
Yeah, for all the young people that are watching this who don't know, it sounds like Greta Van Fleet. Yeah. Because they don't know Led Zeppelin. So yeah,
Gotta connect it to everybody.
I picked those three songs. All the young dudes, it's just a song that goes nowhere. But yeah, on Hell on Wheels, he rips off AC/DC. Dive. It's cringy lyrics for a hand. And Licking the Gun, it's Dude Looks Like a Lady. I tell you, there's a riff in that part that sounds exactly like Dude Looks Like a Lady. I kid you not. And Yeah, so now we're going to the third and final round where we give our final thoughts and we vote. So, JC, final thoughts?
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. It definitely didn't age well. I liked it when I was 18 years old. I think I like the song "Tattooed Millionaire." That's probably why I bought the CD. And I think the songs that are maybe like okay, maybe "Son of a Gun" is okay, and the last song "No Lies." Nobody mentioned that one. I think that one is actually not too bad. It sounded a lot like Iron Maiden, like
Yeah, that's the
No
most
More
hated
Lies.
"No
song
Crap and
on the
Dying." I
record.
No
don't know if
More
anyone
Lies.
like picked that up. Yeah, so I think like that sounded a lot like a Maiden song, but pretty much everything in the middle is just like not good. Born in '58. It's kind of funny because I'm looking at my notes. I wrote Bruce Springsteen as well. I know one of you guys mentioned that. Gypsy Road. I don't know if the band Cinderella had a song called Gypsy Road on their album from like 1988, Long Cold Winter, I think it was. So I
Oh,
mean, he pretty much like took the song title by itself. And then there's
Oh.
I think it was called
All the
something
Young
else.
Dudes. It's okay, but it's just straightforward. And then like Licking the Gun and Zootaloo, those are like really bad. So it's a thumbs down for me. It's just like it's for me, it's an album that like aged really badly. That's how I would describe it. Yeah.
JC, but I want you to channel JC, that 18-year-old JC. 18-year-old JC, what did you think of this album?
Well, for those of you who watched the for those of you who watched the Three Little Pigs Green Jelly video, you know what I was doing when I was 18. So yeah, so
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
I was
It was
smoking a lot of
attending
stuff
church, if you
back
didn't
then.
know.
But
Wink,
I
wink.
said
I was
you were attending
I was
church
smoking a
every
lot of
week.
stuff back then. So I mean I liked it because it was like I was like into glam back then, but now, you know, how old is this? It's over like 35 years or
34
whatever.
years.
So 34 years
24
later.
years this year.
It's the same
34,
age
right?
as me.
Oh, wait, 34, right?
Yeah, 34. This will
Oh
turning
my God,
34 this
I'm
year.
so bad at math. Yeah,
It's
it's
34
34.
years later. So
It's got a
Sometimes I
zero
think
in it.
the
How do you
90s
fuck
is
that
20
up?
years ago.
so anyway, yeah, that's it just didn't age well. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, Chili, your final thoughts and rating.
It's kind of interesting, I guess, because I was almost divided. I was very divided on this. Like you're looking at it in almost three ways. Compare this to Iron Maiden. It's a terrible album, of course, because it's Iron Maiden after all. And then on the other hand, you compare it to what Bruce Dickinson would write in the future for his solo stuff. Then it's still a terrible album. But his future solo stuff is also more aligned to Iron Maiden. So there's this like
progressive.
weird, yeah, there's this weird, thing behind the scenes of all this. And I think that like as a solo album, his first venture really out there, which was mostly unintended and based upon a terrible written song, one of the worst songs Iron Maiden has ever written, or rather Bruce Dickinson has ever written. Then there's an intriguing thought process for a person at this time of his life. But at the same time, he's trying different things that he may not have been able to do under the Iron Maiden banner. But it's such a disjointed album that it just doesn't sound well, and it just, from one track to the next, it's just, what the fuck is going on here? 1 second you're listening to kind of an Iron Maiden-ish track, then it's all of a sudden AC/DC, then Aerosmith, back to something Cinderella or ish, and he's trying to stab at a few different types of music, and it's all very, very cheesy, and ultimately it's bring out the cheese, lads. Ultimately it's endearing. Like I said before, Tattooed Millionaire was a terrible song. It's also a good song from the album, though. It's this weird flip because it's still in my mind as I'm talking about it right now. For me, Dive, 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 while JC said was one of the worst tracks on the record, I love that track. I thought that track is great, but that's because it is so cheesy that it's great. You know, I like pizza with cheese on top, and Dive, Dive, Dive is that cheese. So, but at the same time, it's like cheese crust, and someone's just dumped like a 4 kilo wheel of cheese on top of it, and it's just oozing everywhere. So, thumbs down. Yeah, it's a pretty crappy album.
I think it's the cocaine of the 80s that mostly fueled this album. So, Matthew, your final thoughts and rating.
Yeah, so when I was writing up my summary about this and everything, the first thing that popped in my head was like, who is this made for? And like, what purpose does this album serve?
Nikki
And I
Sixx.
feel like it's now that I know that, yes, it serves that purpose, him being hiding in the shadows and everything. But yeah, it just felt like just like Tilly said and everything, like I respect the experimentation, trying to stab at a little bit of everything, but it comes off really, really cheesy, like extremely cheesy, and like also like I maybe respect better. I would just respect it more if it was just straight up bad, but the cheesiness really drags it down overall for the majority of it, especially the middle section, like you guys said. And it just and I feel like something maybe someone who's young and trying to experiment like this, that's kind of more of a pass because you're still trying to figure out your sound, but you've been in he's been in the industry at this point,
10
what,
years, nearly.
more than 10 years. I feel like he should have known some like I feel bad saying he should have known better, but like maybe stuck more in his lane and just diverted a little bit and then just maybe experiment more down the road or so. It's just too big of a jump, maybe, in terms of trying too many different styles at once. And I think it's funny that Gypsy Road got really dragged through the dirt here, but I really enjoyed that one. That was my favorite track on this entire album. And also, like JC said, No Lies didn't really think because a lot of songs at the end of an album get no love, and No Lies just seems to be forgotten about. But it surprisingly wasn't that bad in terms of his vocal performance.
That's the most Iron Maiden song on that record.
Yeah.
It And I guess that's why it was probably buried at the very end. He didn't want too many people know, but it sounded really good and enjoyable, and the length of it, and just it just felt really good and fully worked out. Everything else didn't seem as worked out. It just seemed like really bad ideas or cheesy ideas. And yeah, so like overall, I feel really split about it because I always like to rank things out mathematically a little bit. Like I rank between 5 and 0 on a song, and then after I add everything up, I divide it out by the total and stuff. So
I don't do that shit.
rate,
I'm bad at math.
Clearly.
computer science major, can't help it. I love the math, but like I literally Chili said when I did up my numbers and everything, it literally came out like 5 out of 10. I was like, yeah, I can see that because there's some parts. That is a 50, yeah. But then there's stuff like Tattoo Millionaire that do have there is some catchiness here and there, but overall the cheesiness really outweighs it and everything. For someone who I think should have more experience or should know better than doing what they did on this. So hey, gonna have to go with you guys. Sorry.
Nice. So
thumbs down.
That leaves me and something pretty interesting. This album came like at the end of the 80s, going to the 90s. And this to me, when I was listening to it at first, I thought this sounds like it would have been like a David Lee Roth solo album, but there's a problem. You know, Bruce Dickinson is a great singer, but he's not David Lee Roth. You know, David Lee Roth has that, he can make anything cheesy cool. Like, come on, California Girls. Like he takes the cheese, he processes the cheese, and it's good. But with Bruce Dickinson,
good old processed American cheese.
Yeah.
The best.
The English can't do that processed English cheese, can they?
They can't do it. But with Bruce Dickinson, you know, it's weird because he's known for doing like thought-provoking, like deeper lyrics. So I think, yeah, maybe when he was going to do this, I wonder if Iron Maiden told him to do an album that didn't sound like Iron Maiden because he was stealing.
Challenge him.
That's an interesting thing. Maybe they said to him, please don't do an album that sounds like us. we don't know, but that could have been an issue because after that, his other albums sound totally different from this. This is his only solo album that sounds like this. You know, it sounds like a covers album. But I'm halfway because even though it's cheesy and bad, there's songs that I don't know if they grow. I'm telling you, Tattooed Millionaire is gonna be probably in my top 5 songs of 2020.
Right after Godsmack.
I don't know why that track is like, I don't want to be a tattooed millionaire. I feel like singing it. And you might
It's got a hook.
like, why are you singing that song from 34 years ago? Like if someone remembers that song. And yeah, No Lies does sound a little bit more like Iron Maiden. I think Chili's, you gotta look that up because I wonder if they told him not to sound as much as Maiden. But yeah, there's some other tracks here that sound like bad versions of Aerosmith, bad versions of AC/DC, Led Zeppelin Sing Along. And yeah, Born in 58 is like totally Bruce Springsteen. So yeah, I think this is an album that he just tried to see what it sticks, but I think he had fun. And Chili said a word, I find it endearing as well. So
yeah,
I'm like, I want to give it a thumbs down, but an enthusiastic thumbs down because I love Tattooed Millionaire, the song. I'm telling you that I love that track. The other tracks, not as much, but that track. And did you see the music video for it?
No.
So bad.
There was a music video.
I probably did a long time ago. I haven't watched it in a long time.
The music
video. I got a new reaction video to make.
Oh my God.
I gotta look it up.
Matthew, do that reaction video because it's just hilarious. The hilarity. He's like in a submarine looking, and then there's like a Porsche, but like a Lamborghini, but it doesn't work. And he's looking at this guy like fighting with through a screen, and he's like this looking. So it's just pure cheesiness.
Fire the torpedoes. Bruce Dickinson's just getting through the water.
Imagine the video director look more mysterious.
I wonder if that's a euphemism for Nicky Sixx and his wife. Then
we never know.
Yeah, he's spying from the bushes, like, I see you, Nicky.
If I had a million subscribers, I could interview Bruce Dickinson and ask him this question. And then he would take.
So what are you waiting on, YouTube? Come on, hurry up.
He would take his fencing knife and stab me. And then he would say, Puerto Rican killed by Bruce Dickinson for being a dumbass. And that's what we would say. But
Lord.
It's a thumbs down, but an enthusiastic thumbs down because I love me some cheese sometimes. And I got a question for you guys, like Sheely, JC, and Matthew. But I don't, because do you think this album inspired Corey Taylor's solo albums?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
I've never listened to his solo albums yet. I've been wanting to. I've been saving those, but okay.
Do not do it, Matthew. Stay away from Corey Taylor's solo albums. But when I was
here for the people,
this, I'm like, I think this inspired Corey Taylor. But you know what? I like this album better than Corey Taylor's albums.
Yeah. At least there's cheese in this one, but like there's nothing cheesy. It's just abhorrent. Sorry, Matthew, to put shit on your parade for.
I don't hear anything. Won't make any prejudgments. I can't hear any of this.
How can I go from being a respected singer in a fantastic band to just absolutely shitting on my image? I know. I'm gonna make a video clip where I'm shooting torpedoes out of a fucking video. So. Yeah. Corey Taylor. I don't know what Corey Taylor did for his video, but I don't care.
I don't know, but Matthew, I would love to collaborate on that. I've never done reaction videos, but I would do one with you so we could analyze the music video afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. I love doing
and I would share that on my channel. So people, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun on this episode. This was
really fun.
Yeah, this was a fun episode to do. And it was fun to basically this is an album that a lot of people won't remember it. So it was good to like do a deep dive of this 34 years later. Yes, I finally got the math correct.
Good.
So
It's all
people,
that cheese that went to your brain.
yeah, right here. So we want to know from you people, what do you think of Tattooed Millionaire by Bruce Dickinson? What are your favorite tracks or your least favorite tracks? Comment down below and let us know. And also let us know like what future albums
What should we do?
we can cover for future videos. And please subscribe to my guest channels, Matthew Diceable Tunes.
Thank you so much.
He's got like how many people do you have? Like 200, 300 people. He's a
373.
Yeah. So subscribe to his channel. He talks more about like more underground music, and he also they sell shirts, and probably they sold more shirts than me, people. So please buy some of my merch at fretless.com. So
support all these wonderful YouTubers and their endeavors. Support us.
Support us, yes. And of course, JC Rock and Metal Reviews, if you want to know more history. And obviously, if you didn't know, when we were filming this, today is the 25th anniversary of Sugar Ray 1459, and only 16 people have seen his video. Come on. JC put a lot of thought into that fucking video. And I did a short,
support.
I did a short and I had like 100 views. And I just said, go to JC's video. He gives you history. I'm not gonna give you that. I just said a story about some teenage girls pushing me so they could get to Mark McGrath, and they still haunt my dreams. So please subscribe to JC, and of course, Lively Say Erase, my friend Chili. He's almost at 800 subscribers. He's got a great
769. Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool number. So please subscribe to him. He's got a great series that we gotta have Matthew one day on that series. It's called Life Race. And what we do there, Matthew, is we pick free bands. We pick a band that you would listen to forever, a band that you would see live but never listen to again, and a band that you would erase from the earth. And for people commenting on my Godsmack short, we erased Godsmack. I'm sorry. They do not exist anymore. We erased them from history.
We erased them twice.
We don't give a shit what Solly Erna said with Eddie Trunk.
Oh, yeah.
He's no more. No more Godsmack, please. Please. So, and of course, if you like my content, I do collaboration reviews, I interview bands, and I also do this series, Is It That Bad? And coming up next on Is It That Bad? I am covering Megadeth Risk from 1999, and I'm gonna be joined by JC Rock and Metal Reviews for that one, and free thrash metal musicians from three different bands. So it's gonna be cool because we're gonna have actual musicians with talent give us their opinion on an album. So that should be fun. So that will come next Sunday. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Is It That Bad? Thank you and goodbye.